Oh, come on.
Attorney Nicholas Khaufman, good afternoon. How are you today?
Good afternoon, Alvin. How are you?
We are great. Attorney Nick, there's a lot of information circulating online right now that you actually quit your job as the part of the defense team of the former president. How true is that?
It's totally false. I never quit. First of all, I have been hired for a specific purpose, and that was for the confirmation proceedings. We concluded the confirmation proceedings. We hope that we will succeed in not having the charges confirmed. However, if the charges are confirmed, then it remains to be decided whether I will stay on or not. It's not my decision to make. It's the decision of the former president himself. He's the client. He decides. He decides, obviously, in consultation with his family. But it's not the family who decides. I have to stress that. It's not the vice president, as many people would like to think. She had nothing to do with my being hired. At the end of the day, I'm sure that many people would be glad to see the back of me, but that remains to be decided.
Attorney Nick, with respect to the decision of the appeals chamber about the review of the detention of the former president, do you have a reaction about people already saying that it is a determined decision that then the former president will be forever incarcerated inside the detention facility?
Well, we submitted a medical report. The appeals judgment was quite detailed, if I can put it that way. It bent over backwards to find a legal reason for not entertaining the medical report. You will note, of course, that the former president wasn't even invited this time to give a waiver or to attend court. I don't know what the reason was behind that. Maybe he would have appeared on this occasion just to show the judges how he really is. There seems to be, as it were, some kind of reticence to actually engage with the conditions that the former president is actually suffering from on a daily basis. And it's not just me who invented this. Don't forget, right at the beginning when we discussed the medical issues, the neuropsychologist who was commissioned by the prison itself, I'm talking about the registrar of this court, he commissioned a neuropsychologist to examine the former president, and he found the same cognitive deficiencies that we found. So we're not inventing these things. Now, if the appeals chamber judges don't want to engage with that, and if the pre-trial chamber doesn't want to engage with that, then there's not much I can really do. But we've done our job, and we've done it as best we can.
And as far as the interim release of the former president is concerned, Attorney, is it the defense position to file another interim request?
We will always ask for his release, and we will continue to ask for his release. Because he should be released. Listen, he's an 80-year-old man. He walks with a cane down the prison corridor. He shuffles because he's fallen over a number of times in prison. So the risk of flight, it's purely theoretical as far as I'm concerned. The intimidation of victims and witnesses, well, who are these victims and witnesses? We've discussed them at the confirmation hearing. The victims are suspected drug users and criminals. That's what the prosecution says. They're the victims of this case. And who are the witnesses? Well, I said that many times during the confirmation hearing as well. They are self-confessed, vicious murderers.
Attorney Nick.
Some of them. Not all of them, but most of them. The critical ones are.
Attorney Nick, in as far as the submission of the Deputy Prosecutor Nyang with respect to your statement, public pronouncement about the Filipino legal team of the former president, asking you to declare on whether or not they are part of the defense. What's your comment on that?
Well, I have a comment. I filed a public response which I've asked me to be reclassified as public. What I can say at the present moment in time is what I've said all along. They provided valuable assistance. Doesn't mean they had access to confidential documents. They are fully aware of the restrictions of their involvement in the case, but these lawyers came along to help us, and they helped us very valuably. And I even mentioned what they gave us in another interview that I gave to ABS, I think. I said that they provided us with a number of documents, police manuals, all sorts of information which the prosecution itself didn't even bother producing at the confirmation hearing.
Attorney Nick, with the recently concluded confirmation of charges hearing, which you actually did a very good job, the press made a statement right now being published, circulated in different platforms, that there seems to be off with respect to the absence of the former president during the confirmation of hearing. What's your position in that regard?
Well, that he wasn't present?
Yes.
And they're drawing adverse conclusions from that? Well, he gave his reasons for not attending the hearings, and he made them very clear in his waiver, which he filed with the court. I know that Senator Leila de Lima thinks that this was invented or someone wrote it for him. Well, I can assure Senator Leila de Lima that is not the case. Those were the president's words himself. And I even mentioned them at the conclusion of my closing statement at the conclusion of the confirmation proceedings.
Attorney Nick, just to conclude this interview, on the 28th of March will be the 81st birthday of the former president, and we decided to do this just right around the Duterte Street to make a historical statement. Do you have a message to the Filipino people?
Yes, I want to see them flooding this place with flowers like they did last year. I don't just want to see them on this, I want to see them all the way to the court premises, half a kilometre down the road. Let's see that. Show your love for him. Show your support for him. But do it peacefully and lawfully.
Thank you, Attorney Nick. Mabuhay ka.
Thank you.